Hello Scorpio and welcome to my channel GreenLion Goddess Tarot. This is your fortnightly reading for the 1st of February through to the 15th. It is a general reading, Scorpio. Oh, look what's come up. The Five of Cups, Pluto Scorpio has come up. So just before I delve into this quickly, gosh, they're just saying, sorry, I'm just got to go straight into it. I'll just say quickly, it's a general reading, may or may not resonate. Just take what feels right. Leave the rest. There is an extended reading if it does really resonate. The link will be in the description box below. I'll talk about that a bit later. So the Five of Cups, Scorpio. There is an emotional cycle that is returning to you. This is something that can be quite old, could have been years ago. An emotional response that you've had to something. It can relate to loss, disappointment, rejection, anger. There is a sense, I get a feeling that there's distance from this, but there is that it is coming back around to finally die. That the hold that this emotion has over you, that you may have experienced, like I said, such a long time ago, it may have a sense that it is already such a long way away, something you don't necessarily need to revisit. Perhaps it's something you feel like you've shut the door on, something you feel like you don't even need to ever go back to. It is coming back simply to shut the door forever on it. And so this is coming back. It's this very powerful cycle of birth, rebirth, and death. And it is showing you how far you have grown and what a different person you are now to what you were like back then. And this is because of all the work and experiences that you have done in your life. And so they're wanting you to acknowledge this. This can be very deeply personal. This might be something that you actually have never shared with anyone or with only a very few people that are very close to you that you trust. These sort of feelings and emotions that can be coming up. And so that's why it's important to use self-validation, self-acknowledgement with this. And to be able to see yourself from a higher perspective as a higher involved soul, to see your soul growth with this. So it's coming back to show you how far you've come and to finally understand that there may have been a little bit of it left for whatever reason. That will be different for all of you, how much was there. But there is a chance to finally release this in all aspects of it. And it's very deep. It's very, very deep. It's something that could have affected you, cut very deep. So this can come in the form of a person, news about something, a situation, just that feeling coming back for whatever reason, Scorpio. So it's actually really empowering. It's a very empowering energy to be able to let go of that. So very potent, I would say. Very, very potent. So what else does Scorpio need to know? They're saying actually pull an affirmation card. It's going to feel good, and I feel like there's going to be a sense of, yeah, definitely a sense of resolution, but a sense of, what's the word? Not validation. It is validation, but it's also just knowing that you were right in the situation. So what have we got here? We've got, I listen with love to my body's messages, and this is something I feel like this could have been an emotion that you've held very deep inside your body. it can come out in any sort. It can come out in the form of a health issue. It can come in the form of tension. It can come in the form of pain. It can be held in so many different ways. But it's saying, this is what this says. It says, my body is always working towards optimum health. My body wants to be whole and healthy. I cooperate and become healthy, whole, and complete. So, yeah, I feel like you're going to be feeling this on a physical level, that you've held on to this and it's affected your physical body, and it's going to be so good. You're going to notice a physical change when you release this. This one says, I'm in the process of positive change. It says, I am unfolding in fulfilling ways. Only good can come to me. I now express health, happiness, prosperity, and peace of mind. So that's also really, really beautiful and positive, Scorpio. So just before we start the tarot, I do want to pull out a charm. I'm just going with intuitively what I'm being guided to do here. So let's just see what is coming out for you, Scorpio. We have the turtle, gosh. And for me, the turtle is all about returning to the source. It's about a soul's journey. And the turtle returns to the ocean, and the great ocean is that great well of deep intuition, emotion. It is home base for you, Scorpio, being a water sign. It is coming back to yourself, and it is acknowledging that it's been a journey. It's been a journey of a lot of soul growth, but the turtle is good energy that's good for your soul, really good. And what I'm getting is that now there's a chance to get in that perfect current, that lovely warm current that will take you where you want to go. So things are going to flow. Things are going to flow. You're going to be shown the right path, the right direction. And it's going to be easier than what you think. So it's going to have this flow-on effect of positive change, releasing this. So, yeah, it's really fascinating. Okay, so got the go-ahead to get stuck into the tarot now, which I know some of you are just like, let's just get straight to the tarot. Some people like all the other stuff. Let's see what we've got. The Five of Wands, there's the conflict that's come up, crossed by the Three of Pentacles. So interesting. The Five of Cups, they're on your mind. It comes up straight away. The Three of Wands. Okay. So things are returning to you. Absolutely. This Three of Wands, the ships are returning back in, but there's success surrounding this. The Emperor in the recent past, the Queen of Wands in the near future, the Moon, and that's where you're kind of stepping into that fellow sister sign of yours, the Piscean energy, that lovely deep intuitive energy there. The Hermit, Justice, and the Ten of Pentacles. Breathe a sigh of relief, Scorpio. The Four of Swords, gosh. So it's like you've been through the ringer. You've been dragged through the underworld, through this deep emotional cycle, and finally it's over. And it's like now you can see you'll be able to start seeing the solid, good, concrete results of it, which is actually really good. So let's look at this. The Five of Wands crossed by the Three of Pentacles. There is something that needs to be acknowledged. There is a sense that there's something that hasn't been recognised, or that you haven't received the recognition that you've wanted. And there's conflict around this, whether this is internal conflict, whether this is bitterness towards someone or something else. But there is a sense that something is not getting, whether this is your work or whether this is your skills or whether this is just you as a person. This comes down to, this is kind of the core value that I feel like this Five of Cups is related to, is not being valued, not being recognised, so not being seen. And you've been doing a really, really good. It was a job. It was worth it, and you know that. What it is that someone hasn't validated or someone hasn't acknowledged, you know that it was worth acknowledging. So someone has deliberately kind of slighted you, or deliberately not wanted to acknowledge your work, or deliberately been overly competitive with you to the point that they've tried to overshadow you. And you know in your heart of hearts that what you made and what you created, or who you are, who you were in that moment, was the better person. You deserved that recognition. So something was taken away from you there. Someone was playing, basically serving their own needs, playing a game that basically put them above you, and for their own ego is kind of what I'm getting here, Scorpio. So it's no wonder, we started off with the Five of Cups, and the Five of Cups is in your mind. So this is disappointing. I mean, I get it. This is what can be in your conscious mind. Can be a sense of disappointment or loss or pain or hurt, however this can come up. And people can disappoint you because they're not acting in the highest. It's not a good version of them. They're not acting in the highest ideals. It's just seeing the nasty side of somebody, or the lower side of human nature. And this has had this kind of, I feel like this event, it could have been in the past, or it's something that's occurred now that is triggering something from the past. And it has, in a way, this energy has kept you stuck in the past in a weird way. And, it's time now to turn around and bridge that gap and step into the future and see what the future holds, because there's all these positive things there waiting for you. And so I feel like, this is something that you're going to be on your mind. You're going to be thinking, I'm ready to release something. I'm ready to move on from something. I'm ready to step away from something from the past and turn around and turn my back from it and not let it have such a hold on me anymore. And it's so empowering, Scorpio. It's just a reclaiming of self. Now, at the base, we have the Three of Wands. Now, I want to actually go to the recent past, because here we have the Emperor. The Three of Wands is the young Emperor. So we've kind of gone from, there's something that has occurred in the recent past where you have kind of stepped back into your power or regained a sense of authority within yourself. You've kind of reclaimed yourself in some way, or you've been in a position of power, a position where you've had authority, whatever it was. You've kind of stepped back into a role, or stepped back into a sense of self, or stepped back into a skin, I want to say, for whatever reason, where you were like, this feels right, this feels me, this feels like me. And I feel strong. And so you are now like, the universe was wanting to give you this power, give you this strength. I mean, Scorpio is such a powerful sign. And this is something that other people are going to notice. Other people are going to see. It's very out there, very masculine energy. It's very much in the concrete world. You'd have to be blind not to see it within a Scorpio. Doesn't mean you have to be the CEO of a company, but it could just be people can sense a power within you. And how they respond to that is, their business, really. But you've become powerful in an aspect of your life, whether it's an aspect of your personality or whatever it is. So you're strong enough now to deal with this that's come in. And if anything, that strength has precipitated this. So caused it to happen. So interestingly, at the base of the reading, we have this Three of Wands. And this is what's happening deep down, and it's very much seeing some initial success with this this sense of recognizing the power within yourself. Okay, it's been reflected back to you, and this is what we're not seeing here. This is what didn't happen in a situation, but somehow within your life you've found that recently. It's been reflected back to you somehow. And so therefore it's had this flow-on effect where it started this new cycle of something new that you've wanted to bring in, something that you've really, really desired and wanted, and something that really motivates you. And this is kind of, it's not new energy to you. This is something that's been around for a while, that you've been putting out there for a while, something you've been working on, and you're finally starting to see some results here. You're finally starting to see some things coming back to you that are positive and good. And so when when things start coming back to you, this is when something comes back to you that leaves a sour taste in your mouth as well. Most of it, 90%, all good. 1%, like 10%, or this one thing comes back in, and it's like they're showing me a ship coming in, and it might be all the produce on it was rotten. And it's like it wasn't a good deal. The supplier gave you something that they knew wasn't right. And this is just an example. This is just the image that I'm showing. So I've kind of got to read through what it means. And it's saying something comes back that has been rotten, that you've paid for, that you set out a contract. This is what you wanted, and someone hasn't lived up to expectation. And so it's kind of how it's come back to you as it's kind of got that something's really off about it, and they've just done the wrong thing. And so that's what's coming back here with this conflict of, I don't think it's such a problem, because I think I can deal with that quite easily. It doesn't feel like it's nothing that you can't deal with, but what it has done is kind of brought your attention to something or a dynamic that wasn't working. So this could quite literally be to do with suppliers in business for some of you, that what that person said they were going to do and how they were going to do it is not what they've presented to you. And, that's not acceptable. I mean, that just isn't acceptable. So, it's very much been in this very divine masculine energy here, which has been dealing with a lot of things in the world, concrete stuff in the world. So in the near future, we're stepping into this Queen of Wands, which is the divine feminine, which is beautiful that she's coming in. And she's coming in with this sense of, I have this opportunity. I know how to nurture this. It's understanding now that you've got something very special here. Whether this is like how this translates is that you can see that there's success here that's coming through on a deep level for you, personal success. It could be business success as well, however that's coming through. And you're like, I want to keep that going in the right direction. I want to be drawing the right people towards me. The Queen of Wands, she has a very discerning eye for who's the right person for the right job, who's the right person to support me, who's the right person to be working for me, who's the right energy to be around me to continue this success that I have brought in as the Emperor. So it's around drawing and gathering to you the right energies, because it's become very, very obvious that this energy is the wrong energy. So it's a process of elimination, really. It's a process of elimination, a process of discernment, that you are working out what works for you, what doesn't. And so you might find that there are things that you are just saying no to, cutting out people, things just like, that's just not working. That's just not working for me. And so that's actually where you're going to be shown how much you have grown in your power and in your soul growth. Because previously, if you go back to when perhaps this issue, an emotional issue had come up, how would you have handled it different? How were you a different person as to what you are now? And so that's where you're going to realize things are going to become very clear to you. It's going to be very much in front of you in your 3D reality. So speaking of reality, you're presenting as the moon. And I love this because it's very, it's this beautiful Piscean energy. It's highly intuitive. So you're just using your psychic senses here, your spidey senses, and just kind of going, that's not right. I can sense that person's not right, so even though things are kind of quite obvious, have been made quite obvious to you, this is something that you are applying to everyone in your life. So you've got this very honed intuitive ability at this moment that you can even someone can walk in the room and you can go, wow, I really want that person. I want to be working with them. Or you can be repelled by them and have completely the opposite feeling. And the other person may or may not know. If they're another Scorpio, they might be doing the same thing to you. But it is that sense that you're feeling your way around a lot of people at this moment in time. So you might be having like a meeting with somebody, and while words are going through, we're talking about stuff, there's stuff on the paper, we're concrete stuff, making plans, whatever it is, you are having this totally other dialogue within yourself, where you're sensing their energy, where you're sensing what sort of a person they are. You just, there's so much more going on with you that's unspoken that the other person probably doesn't know about. So it's a very, very highly intuitive time for you, which is great. So use that time when you're so open to this energy to attract the right people, because you get a sense if someone's lying to you or someone is saying something and you're like, that person doesn't feel authentic, or there's something about them that is off and you don't like. Again, is off, is rotten. So this is why, I mean, in the environment, we've got the Hermit. And this is interesting because it strangely might feel like, even though you're with other people, that you're operating solo. It might, because you're in this kind of, you like everything is switched on. It's like you're a huge satellite dish just checking in on someone else's energy. And so there is a sense of finding the answers within yourself, a lot of self-reliance here. And like I said, this is something that's very deep that has come in for you. And this is a sense that this is something you might not be sharing necessarily with other people. They may have absolutely no idea that you've got all this other stuff going on deep down. And this is something very private for you. So it might be that you are kind of wanting to keep your energy fairly contained and not share a lot with other people, and feel kind of just, within yourself, very much within yourself, which is fine. I mean, I think it's a good place for you to be, Scorpio. It's home, like it's home base for you as well. So coming back to yourself. So hopes and fears, justice. Justice is about the extermination of contracts or the renewal of contracts and bringing in balance. And we can see that it's like that birth-death cycle that's coming through, and rebirth cycle. And it's kind of saying this can be the ending of contracts can be here with this. It doesn't have to necessarily be a legal thing. It can be like a soul contract that you have with someone and you've ended it and you've started something new, or you've forgiven somebody and it's renegotiated a contract. Either way, the overall energy for this is bringing in a greater balance for you, Scorpio. And then, you know, what I absolutely love is the outcome is the 10 of Pentacles. So, you know, it's such a successful outcome here. There is a sense that you have, I feel like for a lot of you have dodged a bullet with what I just got told. So this energy could have led to some kind of financial loss or some kind of dodgy business deal or something that would have taken you down the wrong path that could have led to debt or financial struggle. But where you've ended up, if you draw the right resources to you, and these are all potential energies, Scorpio, you've ended up here in a very content, happy place where you've created solidity, where you've created, safety around your money. You've created a good place so that you can feel safe and secure. There's security here, like I said, stability. So I actually feel like you have, this is such a successful energy if you are running your own business or you're a manager or you just any kind of money affairs, are going to be in good order here because of your actions. So this is a sign of success, and the Emperor's that Emperor energy that you are presenting as or has come in is going to be really happy with this. So I feel like, potential disaster averted. We are now heading forward into a place of prosperity, and you can feel pretty confident with that, very confident, I would say. So that's actually really, really positive. And so at the base of the deck, we have the Four of Swords, and this is very much about You know, interesting thing is the 4 comes after the 3 of Swords, and this is what I'm getting is that the 3 of Swords is all about that pain, the original pain that caused this from the past. But the 4 of Swords lays down those 3 swords, puts them aside, let go of that for the moment and rest, find a place of peace and calm, a space away from that where you're detached, where you're not actively engaged with those thoughts and those emotions, and where you can have the space to recover, rest, deeply contemplate, rewrite the stories and understand the stories that you've been told, you've been fed, and rewrite them, because that's very, very important. It can be a huge shift in understanding and in mindset here about those events from the past that have caused this emotion. And so there's a shift in mindset that's coming through that's actually really, really positive associated with this, Scorpio, as well. So let's look at animal spirit energy for you. What animal spirit medicine is around Scorpio at this time? We've got 2 that have come out. Oh, we have the sea serpent and the cobra. Wow. And they've both got snakes on them. And snakes are such powerful creatures. Now, they're both looking at you eye to eye. There's something about eye to eye, looking face to face with someone. Confronting, even. This can be confronting energy, you confronting somebody, or you looking face to face, eye to eye, or not seeing eye to eye. But you're seeing very clearly, and they know that. And so there's a fear response in them. They're like, oh, they're onto me, or they understand me. What I'm getting from this is that you're the cobra. You're looking directly at somebody. I see you. I see what you're doing. I see exactly what you're doing. This is the other person, the sea serpent. And this is a cycle that they're continually trapped in. It's their MO, just their way of being. And you're like, I see you. And they're like, oh my God, my game's up. They've seen what my game is, and now I've got to kind of slither away. So it's actually quite interesting because the cobra keeps you, he's like the teacher, it's the spiritual teacher energy, very much keeps you on the straight and narrow, on the right path. It comes in when it's showing you your soul purpose, when to keep you in that you're in the right direction, you're heading on the right direction at this moment in time. And yeah, I just feel like it's very much look me in the eyes and tell me this isn't true, or tell me the truth. Something about looking in somebody's eyes, you will know. So very, very powerful, powerful energy. And there's anger emanating from that cobra because it knows that other person has not spoken the truth. But the thing is with this, just quickly before I put it down, is that there's also the ability to forgive the other person here. Not all necessarily for all of you, but you will see the weakness. This is strong, this is weak. Okay? So one person's presenting as very strong. I feel like it's you. The other person, you will see very clearly their weaknesses all of a sudden, and that they can't get out of that cycle for whatever reason. And so for some of you, you may be able to forgive the other person because you can see that they are almost a victim of themselves. But for others, I mean, that may not be on the cards for you, but that is coming up as a potential energy. But they're kind of saying not for everyone, not for everyone. So I'm like, okay, let's pull a fairy before we finish. And let's see, what intuitive message do we have for Scorpio? Protecting assets. I've got all these upside down. A collective of pixies. So it's interesting, this job, because it's saying there might be an unpleasantness about what needs to be done here with this person, but there might be a bit of cleaning up, a clearing up to do, or restructuring of it could be anything, business, of your world, of your belief system. There's a restructuring coming in, and they're saying something needs to be done here, and it's just something that you might not necessarily be wanting or liking to do, but they're saying if you are going to do this, enjoy it, come with the spirit, with the right spirit, come in the right space, do it well. So there's no point doing something begrudgingly. If you're going to have to do something you don't want to do, you might as well, pull up your sleeves, go, okay, I'm going to do a good job of this, and I'm going to find a way to enjoy it. I'm going to find something good about this process, even if it's just looking at the outcome at the end or however it's going to be. So that's what this card is saying with the collective of pixies. So, it's interesting. It's actually very empowering energy, Scorpio. I feel like it's finally being able to let go of something that has had a hold on you in the past, seeing how much you've grown and how strong and powerful you are now. And actually, this energy propels you into some physical changes as well. You might see some health changes, health improvements, or desire to want to be doing that, changing that around. But also with that 10 of Pentacles, I'm just seeing it's bringing through a solid sense of groundedness in terms of your finance, your money, your world. It can be opening the door to more money coming in, that's for sure. And it feels stable. So it feels like you've managed to, this is destabilizing energy, and you've come back to this very stable energy here. And it's a beautiful soul journey. It's about coming home. So, and I do feel like, now that this has been resolved, things are going to become a lot easier in a certain aspect of your life, particularly in relation to work, business, finance, home, family, those kind of things. So, that's it, Scorpio. I'm going to take it over to the deep read now. We're going to look at the future beyond. We're going to get more information that you need to hear. So I'd love it if you come over to that, because the link is in the description box below. It's always a really rich journey. So, and I usually put a link in the comments as well. So, but if this is where we're leaving each other and this resonates, I hope that you can feel the power, the intuitive power, and step into the empowering energy of this. And if it did really resonate, I always do appreciate your likes, subscribes, shares, and comments. So please take care, Scorpio. I'll see you next time. Bye.